and we have no way of enforcing it.
That's what he's trying to correct.
Could the state come in and close the school because there's raw sewage in the playground?
They deemed it a health hazard, they could.
I think we should help them, but we need a guarantee. If they want the help, then they should guarantee us to help them
Well,
out.
we really don't have a lot of power over these utilities.
He's got the only power.
Right, and because we've tried to buy some of those.
If I was sitting in his position, they'd be glad to sign that agreement.
Okay, we do have the power over this agreement. This is a council issue that can be voted down or voted up. So there is a, if you're questioning what kind of power is there, we accept it, and we're gonna say that, well, if you can pay it, great. If Bill can't get it done, then we'll just live with it.
The only power I was talking about is the power to, like in the past, we were trying to purchase, you cannot, like Appalachian Electric, we don't have any power to tell them what to do. The city does not, or to
And power
purchase
to
them.
deny service.
Well, why can we not get that letter signed now? We've got a copy of that. That is the one you gave us last night, right?
No, sir, that's the resolution that the bill's talking about, that the commission will consider, that will urge them, suggest strongly that they do that, but there won't be a contract written like Mayor Thompson said.
Why can't we get that passed before we pass on the agenda? My other concern is this too, is it legal for, I mean, this is paid with grant money, right? Okay. So why does the city have to take the discount of $2,500?
The reason for the discounted tap fees is that we started the project years ago. The budget was based on that. There was a gentleman's agreement, and I've tried to live up to the agreement that was on the table when we began the project.
When the CDBG, it was, the $2,500 tap fee was included in the CDBG application. And so that was the agreement at that time, that's what the tap fee would be.
Can we legally do that?
If, for example,
somebody else,
if you're a developer coming in and you make application today for a sewer tap, and tomorrow we raise the rates, you'd be grandfathered in. That's the way we're treating the situation, is the grant began before the rates were increased.
When we increased the rates, we gave people 90 days to come in and apply, and grandfathered it for 90 days. And there were a lot of people who came in and applied who had not hooked up, who hadn't wanted to hook up. But when the rates went up, they came in. And so this was under that old time.
I understand that with this been going on, you said, have you had the grant for 6 years?
Since 08.
08.
What was the other project we put out there, Bob? We ran sewer to Whitesburg, which hooked up to the school, and then an industry out there ages ago.
That was just a regular gravity feed.
And we had talked about at that time, I know Herbert Arnold had talked about this neighborhood at that time was having trouble.
Well, this originally was a gravity system, and to get within the money, they changed it to the pump system.
There's, the mayor's asking for a guarantee. Is there any?
I see where it's coming from, and I agree with it, but I don't know how you get it. I mean, I've dealt with the utility districts before, and they're very hostile.
Well, I understand that, but
He's the head man, though.
they need to understand that we have people in the city that are here to that.
I understand that.
And if they can't come to that policy, why should we open up our system to that kind of a problem?
I just don't know what the alternative is.
Well, I think if they care about their people out there, and I certainly hope that they do, that they would agree to that kind of contingency. If they don't care enough about the people in their district to agree to that, it tells me that we care, but they don't. If we're willing to put them on the system, and we are not annexing them, they're not going to pay any city taxes, but we're putting them on our sewer system, and we're not going to be guaranteed that we'll be paid. I think that's sort of crazy.
Now, the history in Russellville, not the history, but the current situation in Russellville is, and talking to Jamie Carden on Monday, is there was approximately in the neighborhood of 35 connections in that project, and none have disconnected. Of course, they can't. And 3 of the 35 were delinquent as of Monday on their payments. One was 60 days, and a couple were 30 days delinquent on their bills, so.
I'm just looking down the road, Bill.
I understand.
We're gonna end up raising the rates to fix the sewer system. Those people are gonna have to pay double. And they might say, well, it's cheaper to pump. All right, I'm not gonna pay it, but I won't disconnect from the system, I'll just pump. And then we're stuck.
And one thing about the situation up there, if there's a customer up there with water and sewer, and they say, we don't want to pay the sewer bill, we're not going to pay the sewer bill, for them to continue to get water, they have to pay the water and the sewer bill. So they're in a pretty bad situation if they don't want to take it.
And this, I guess the situation is different in Whitesburg versus Russellville because of the failed septic systems in Whitesburg. I mean, the whole neighborhood. There have been about 3 or 4 property owners who couldn't wait any longer, and they were allowed to replace their septic systems. So they're not connecting. But
You're talking about failed septic systems, that's multiple failed septic systems, is that right?
practically all of them.
Well, I mean, we're not the bad guys here, we're willing to do it. It appears to me that the utility system is being rather harsh about this to their people. We want to help, but we want guarantees.
I don't know if I would characterize it as harsh. I don't think they have officially been approached recently. I've had conversation, not with their board as a whole, but with their general manager, but we haven't gone to them and say, will you change this policy? Now, I will have a conversation with them in presenting the resolution that the commission will probably pass Thursday. And I'll be armed with that, plus the appointment powers that I have.
Dick, I'm glad you just came in. I got a question for you.
Oh, right there.
Counsel.
I've had a few questions today.
I've talked to Dick one time today. With this agreement that is being proposed by Russellville, Whitesburg Utility District, or by the county, without a contingency that this agreement not be passed unless we have guarantee of payment, would we not be amiss as a council if we can't guarantee the ratepayers that everything is equal with Russellville as it is with the city, and that we can guarantee we can be paid for services?
Guaranteed for which portion?
For
Hookups
the
or
sewer.
Monthly sewer charge.
Monthly
the
sewer
monthly
charge.
sewer charge?
Yeah, because we have no agreement that guarantees that.
Well, I think the notion was that once it gets turned over to the city, the way the city would secure payment of the monthly sewer bills would be by virtue of having water service terminated in the event there was a default paying for the sewers. Now, if that isn't possible, then really the only choice you would have is to file a suit in General Sessions Court, try to collect as best you could.
Which would cost the city.
It would, yeah, it wouldn't be a practical thing.
No, it wouldn't be.